at the end of that day, I wrote down little things that happened, so to make sure I don't forget anything, because you never know in the future. But I have this framed on my wall now, and for sure my favorite moment ever.
Kada sam saznao za Tea, saznao sam da ima milionske pratioce, to jest milione pratilaca na YouTube-u, na Instagramu i tako dalje. I pričali su mi prijatelji kako je bio na košarkaškoj utakmici Zvezde i Partizana i kako je odlučio da mora ponovo da se vrati. I evo ga Teo u Beogradu nekoliko sati pred derbi i želim da razgovaram i malo da vas upoznam i da mu kažem koliko sam ljubomoran na njega, šta je sve uradio. Zato što, Teo, you're 26 or?
I'm actually a lot younger, 22.
22?
Yeah.
Šta je sve uradio sa 22 godine. To je bio jedan od kako momak sa 22 godine može da dobije Messijev dres potpisan, da mu Antonio Conte bude trener, da ga poznaju milioni ljudi širom sveta, a i da ga znaju fudbaleri. Teo, what I was saying is that I'm a little bit jealous that you. You're 22. You know, you have Messi signed shirt. Antonio Conte was your coach a few weeks ago.
Oh, such a nice guy.
Yeah.
We got to get into that. My life now is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's just gone to another level where things are happening and I don't even believe that it's real. Playing in football in front of a crowd for charity, meeting my all-time GOAT, you know, ever since I was a little kid, my favorite player in the world has been Leo Messi. And this year at the start, I had a chance to meet him, only me and him in his hotel in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, life right now is crazy and it's great to be back in Belgrade. And thank you for having me on your podcast. It's nice.
Thanks for coming. I was telling the viewers that I envy you because you are 22 and you did all of stuff. I'm a little bit older.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. And I didn't have so many opportunities as you do. But first of all, you are in Belgrade again.
Yeah.
What happened with you and Belgrade and Derby?
Do you know what? It actually all started, but I have a YouTube channel for 8 years. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing this for a while and I travel a lot. But every summer I go to Montenegro for the last 11 years of my life. Mm-hmm. My dad, we built a house out there from a ruin. Mm-hmm. My dad thought, this beautiful country, nobody ever comes here from England. Everybody goes to Italy and Spain on holiday. We thought, no, let's go to Montenegro. We like it there. So my dad, we built up a ruin and every summer we spend the whole year there. And we always love football, me and my dad. So we check the football apps, what games are on in the summer. And we see, Red Star playing a qualifier, European qualifier. Let's fly over 40-minute flight from Tivat, Montenegro to Belgrade. So we're like, let's check it out. And then that became going to one game and I really enjoyed being in the stadium with the fans. And I was like, wow, I was taken aback by all the emotion inside the stadium from the Delia and the Red Star fans. I was like, I have to come back for a derby. So I did. And that was just one of the best experiences I've ever seen in a football stadium.
But you were also at the basketball game, right?
This year.
Yeah.
So I've done the football for a few years and people always say to me, you've got to come back to watch actually Partizan's basketball. Yeah. They say Partizan's fans are the craziest. I get a lot of messages saying, you have to come watch Partizan basketball. I went to the Red Star one because of course I have lots of friends at Red Star and they always invite me. But that derby was special. You know, in Stark Arena, it's a lot smaller. The noise bounces around. You can really feel everything. It's hard to even capture it online. I think a lot of my English fans are very surprised. And that's why I keep coming back to Belgrade because it's just different levels here to support your club like that.
And today you're going to the Red Star Partizan and it might be the championship decider, right?
I think it is. It's a bit like Liverpool, Man City tomorrow in England. Whoever wins will have that pole position. You know, we know you love F1. This is basically taking that P1 position if you win, getting the 3 points. Now, I've seen the table and Partizan are 1 point ahead. So even a draw would be good for the away side today. It's all up for grabs. I'm very excited too. So I had to come back. When I saw the league table, I always track it throughout the season. But I knew that this one was going to be the biggest. So hopefully we'll have a great atmosphere, a great feeling inside the stadium. And whoever wins, I just hope that we have a story to remember.
Tell me, how did you get your tickets for the game?
Well, actually, I have a friend called Alex who for years, he used to work with Red Star. Now he's just living in Belgrade, and he always invites me, shows me around Belgrade in the videos every time. And yeah, he just called me up saying, do you want to come? I was like, there's no brainer.
Yeah.
Next thing I booked my flights, and yeah, he always organizes it for me, which is amazing. And it shows you how connections and how welcoming people are in Serbia. Like every time I've come here, people go out their way to take me out for dinner or show me around, see the city. I really feel a good connection with the people from this country, and it's just why I keep coming back. Yeah.
What is the best impression and what is the worst impression?
The best impression. Oof, I know the worst impression.
Okay, tell me the
I know
worst.
the worst. It's during the derby.
Yeah.
I've never had any bad experience, going around the city or around the country. But there was one time where the Partizan fans inside the derby, they were setting fire to the seats. This is crazy. I know they always do this. The away team sets fire to the seats, and then the club invoices them. I heard about this ongoing thing, but I'd say that's the worst experience. Although that creates a story, right? But not nice for the Red Star club to have to rebuy the seats. But the best experience for sure, maybe the basketball match, just being in there with the fans when they won it, seeing Teodosic in the flesh. What a player. People talk about him in Serbia, but you have to actually come here and take in the atmosphere. I had a lot of Americans write to me, and they were like, "Are you serious? This is what the fans celebrate in the stadium here." They're so shocked by it. The EuroLeague is different levels to NBA. They don't understand what they're missing,
Tell me, do people recognize you at the street?
Even in Montenegro now.
Really?
Yeah, in Montenegro, I feel like a lot of the country has either Red Star or Partizan as their club. And when I go on holiday now, because of going to Serbia, I get recognized, which is weird. In a country that I just go on holiday to, right? And even in Serbia on the street, sometimes when I'm walking around and you see someone who clearly likes their football, they'll ask me for a chat or they'll ask for a picture. And it's always nice. I've always got time for that. And if you see me in public, wherever in the world, I always want to give time to people that have watched my videos before. Whether you like me or not, it's life. I'm always up for a chat. So it's definitely a beautiful feeling to be able to just see somebody that's seen you online and they get an opportunity to talk to you. It's quite nice.
Yeah. I understand. Of course, thanks for our sponsor Vergnano. What I wanted to ask you, have you ever imagined that you will have millions and millions of followers around social media, especially, of course, I think that you started at 13 years old or something like that.
So I've been in the game for quite a while, even though I'm 22 years old, right? I've been doing YouTube for 8-9 years, which is crazy. I went from school, and after school I went straight into YouTube, and I just built it up. I always had the mentality that I'm going to do this until it works, until I break through, and I'm not going to stop. I'm never going to stop, because this is what I want to do. This is my passion. I love making videos and I love watching football, and to be able to travel with it, it's the perfect job. So every day I wake up and I love what I do. And as I said, I've been to some beautiful places around the world. It's been difficult at times because of course my mom, she wants me to go to university, and you have to make big decisions in life where you say, no, actually my job has to come first now, maybe in the future I'll do it. But over the years, I definitely think I made the right calls to continue doing what I'm doing. And as you say, now I've done my all-time goals, meeting Messi, playing in front of 40,000 fans, which is always a dream for me. So yeah, it's not been an easy road all the way, but throughout it, I've always stayed positive mindset. And I went straight from school after lockdown. We were kept indoors, and always living with my parents, they say, you have to go now. You gotta go do some work. But eventually that stopped, and I got straight back into doing videos, and the numbers grew. And yeah, I'd say a big part of that is thanks to Serbia, because every time I come here, they support me and the video, and it makes it possible for me to come back. That's it. So it's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great story, and you can earn decent money. Do you bring a salary at home to your mom and say, "Mom, okay, I will go to university, but look what I have bought for you"?
Yeah, but my mum she's not really like that. She doesn't like gifts. She likes gifts, but she doesn't want me to just give her money.
Yeah.
She kind of just wants to see me do well. She's always worried about me. My mum's Russian, and it's always a thing about like Russian mums are the son is like the prized possession. They're always the ones that if they're ill, my mum is going to be on me like a rash, immediately. She just wants me to be healthy and living well and in the right. So whenever I travel, she's like, no, don't go to Saudi Arabia. Don't go to this place. And I'm like, Mum, relax. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Same when I'm ill. She's always thinking of the worst. So I help her out financially. We send money back to the family, and my dad as well, who's a big part of the videos. He gets money, he gets some of it. And it's always just to reassure them that, things are fine. And they always believed in me as a child. They let me start my YouTube channel and be public eye from the age of 14, 15. And many parents would be very scared about filming around the apartment in London, showing your face in the stadiums and stuff from a young age. But my dad always believed in, he saw the growth, and he always said, look, this is something special. You're good at what you're doing. Keep going. And I think it's very important nowadays to have the right guidance. So I've definitely learned a lot. I'd say like in terms of idols, my dad has to be number one, because the way he brought me up was ideal. And now I'm 22 and I've been in the YouTube for 8 years. You can look back and see, oh, well, he made a lot of clever decisions as I grew up to be able to give me more time to do videos, financially helping me when I was smaller. I didn't have the money to do, so he helped me, but he knew that money was going in the right place, So like to book flights to come to Belgrade from young age, he would help me. And now I can pay him back, which is a beautiful feeling. So I definitely say that my father is definitely my idol. My mum always looks after me as well. So I've got a lot of love for them,
Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah, that's very important. The family is at the first place. This is the most important thing. But being a YouTuber and being at social media, when you are a public face, you always divide opinions, no matter what are you doing.
100%, I understand. Yeah.
So tell me your experience. Have you experienced some bad things from your young age? Because, of course, that I read some things about you, but I understand it's not personal. I mean, this is the experience from every public person in the world, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's impossible to make 100% of people like you all of the time. I have been through a lot, and it's because I'm young in the space, especially with English audience. It's when it's your home country, it's very difficult to keep everybody happy. I think like a lot of people like to bring up things that happened in the past, and they like to hold them against you. But I always keep moving forward. So I was able to overcome a lot of negative things just by continuously doing what I love and focusing on my videos. It's not been easy. Like there's been times where people really try to bring me down, cancel me, kick me off Sky Sports. I go on Sky Sports a lot, and people always try to like bring things up to say that I shouldn't be on the show. Or my football opinions are not as good as somebody else, but that's me. And if you don't enjoy watching me, you don't have to. You can change the channel. You can change to another YouTube channel, right? So I've been through a lot, and I think it helps build me up to who I am today. Because if it happens again, I know how to mentally handle the situation. But when I travel and I go to so many new countries, I feel like it's always, I always get positive feedback, and people like the fact that I spend my time traveling and seeing new things. I think it's important when you're English and you're abroad, you have to be respectful, and you have to give time to people that have done things for you, right? And there's a lot of people from our country who do not respect that. So I like to travel a lot and give a good impression of us English people when we come to their country, and just leave a good mark. And there's a lot of bad press, like where, you have like English hooligans that fight a lot and stuff. And I feel like it's important to say that's only a small minority. And I think a lot of us are very respectful. I like to be a public figure about that.
Speaking about that, what was some of the bad things that happened? Can you name some of the things?
Yeah, there's so many little things over the years. I feel like it's small situations that are taken out of context. The most recent one, it's quite funny. I can talk about it now because it's come and go. But I'm a Bolton Wanderers fan, right? and I go to a lot of the matches. And we had a first leg playoff match against Barnsley, and there was a little incident where a fan gave me a glove, like a glove with a signed of one of the players, who's actually people call my brother, right? And I took the glove on the video, and people will say in the comments, "Oh, why did you take it and give him nothing back? Because he's just a kid." And I'm like, I actually did, but I didn't say it in the video. I sent him a Bolton shirt with a signature from me and my dad, who's in the video. But because I didn't say that in the video, people thought, "Oh, you're just taking, you're not giving." And like for months, I swear, abuse online. It was a reason, I think, looking back, it was a reason for people to come at me they don't like me. If you don't like me and you have a bit of firepower, a bit of gunpowder, you can use that. So I got weeks of abuse. I couldn't even go on some social medias without seeing like my name like all over. People just use that. I guess it's difficult to keep everybody happy. They were just saying you were stealing a glove, you know? But I had to give the glove back to the guy. I sent it off back to him, of course. I didn't even care about it. It was ruined. The funny story, what people don't know about that, is on the day of the match, the Bolton match, I gave the glove to another fan, and I had to call this fan to say, "Oh, you need to pass it back to me so I can give it back to the guy," because people are causing a storm online about this situation. So you can imagine such small things. And of course, like in England, it's all very political. So people like to bring up like tweets from 6-7 years ago. Sometimes people like to say, "Oh, you support this or you support that," and really I say nothing. And it's difficult. So this is mainly where the negativity comes from.
But you continue to work. And tell me, what is the best experience? Maybe that's meeting Messi or playing the game?
The best experience by far is, it's down the middle between the two, you know? I think meeting Messi has to be number one, because I will always look back at that moment. He's a hero to me. And ever since I was a child, I actually supported Barcelona during the El Clasico days where it was Messi against Ronaldo. And I was just in awe of Leo, this natural talent, so small but so nippy. He could get around players. And then I've been to the stadium. I watched him win the World Cup. I was in the World Cup final stadium. I watched him win Finalissima in Wembley, Argentina, Italy. I saw him score for PSG, amazing goal against Manchester City in the Champions League. Even Inter Miami debut.
You were at that game?
Yeah, I was there with a free kick. And, you know, you post a video online. This video got 700,000 views or more now. And people always say, Theo, you bring the luck to Messi in the stadium and stuff. And that connection we built in our audience. So to actually meet him in his hotel, only us, nobody else. I showed him my videos. I showed him the reactions to his goals. He was like, wow. And then he saw that I really was appreciative of him. I'm not just your average guy you meet. I'm not just somebody else who thinks, I want to meet Messi. No, I've actually gone that extra mile to go watch him around all the stadiums, all around the world. So when he gave the signature, he did a personal note saying, "Hi, Theo." He said something in Spanish like "with love." I think it's like "con amor" from Leo, and a massive signature. And it was like, to get a personal note from Leo Messi on your shirt, it's so rare. But he understood in that moment that I was and luckily during the whole situation, I didn't break down. I kept my emotion, I kept together. So that is a moment I will always, at the end of that day, I wrote down little things that happened. So to make sure I don't forget anything, because you never know in the future. But I have this framed on my wall now, and for sure my favorite moment ever.
Yeah, I saw that you were at Barcelona Espanyol when you first saw him with your sister, right?
Yeah, with my sister.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is maybe one of the first times I got on a flight with a family. And it's quite funny. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, let's go on a little city." He convinced my mum, "Let's go to the little city museums and stuff." And then we end up in the stadium, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But my sister's a big fan as well of football, so it's good.
Yeah, that's good. Tell me, you met some people at that charity game, you know?
Yes.
Some of the comments were that you did a great tackle on Hazard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And tell me something about your impression about those guys. I think that the foundation of the charity was to call some influentials, right? Influencers, sorry, participate at the game?
Yeah, so the charity was to raise money for education in countries in need. So across Africa or Palestine or places like where they need money right now. And it was a beautiful event, well held. The whole country was together for it. It was on the TV, the main channels, like the equivalent to Sky Sports there, or what you have here, it's basically BN Sport, and it was on Channel 1. Never has a charity match been on live TV, number one. And it was like, there was no other football that day, so everybody had their eyes on Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium, right? A World Cup ground, mint conditions, perfect. You know, we got the hotel, the team coach. We arrived like any other footballer at the World Cup. We stayed in one of the best hotels. They really looked after us. I must give a big shout out to the Qatar hospitality. And I never expected it would be so nice. And it's a trip I'll never forget. So I knew when I entered the stadium, okay, now it's time to go. We've got to play the best 90 minutes of football we've ever done it. You walk in the dressing room, Antonio Conte is telling you tactics. He's telling you how to defend against Eden Hazard, his favorite player. You've got Drogba in the corner, really motivated, fired up. Kaká, he's like a god. He's like, there's an aura around him when he's there in the dressing room. He doesn't say much. He keeps to himself. He's always smiling, perfect hair. And you're just like, wow, I was playing with them on FIFA and now I'm in the dressing room with them. I can't believe this moment's ever happening. And you're also in a room with some of the biggest YouTube creators in the world. I've been a fan of YouTube all my life. That's why I do it. This is just, it feels like it's not real. It feels like I'm in a dream, because I always had a dream growing up that I played football, playing right back in front of fans. I once had this dream. I played at Stamford Bridge. I don't know why. I played right back and I had a debut and the fans said I had a good performance. And then I had this match where I'm playing against Eden Hazard. Makelele's next to me. All these Chelsea legends. And it's like a dream come true. I swear it's the second best day of my life after the Messi moment, you know?
But how you approach Messi? How was that connection made?
Through his agent. Yeah. He has two agents. He has one for the Middle East and one for Spanish speaking and Miami stuff. And Middle East agent was like, look, you know, the family and we know you like Leo, you're respectful. We want to give you that opportunity when he's in the hotel. And Leo hadn't, I don't think maybe he's seen my videos. But what's funny with Leo, he doesn't like to speak English.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And he plays in Miami, right? You'd think he'd speak only Spanish. And I think there's something, he has morals. And in Argentina, there's a background with many problems with English, you know, with the Falklands.
Yeah, I know the story.
They sing about Malvidas and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously it's sad because I got hate. We talk about negative experiences. English fans at the World Cup got angry at me for wearing an Argentina shirt at the matches because there's a bit of a, you know, there's still
the dispute with the Falkland Islands, right?
But yeah, exactly. So for me, it's like, I don't care about the politics. I support my favorite footballer in the world, Leo Messi. And I always worried that when I meet him, he might not respect me because I'm English. It's always in the back of my mind. But this is not true. This is not true. I spoke to him in English and he understands perfectly. There was one situation where Jamie Carragher spoke about Messi and said some negative words. And he responded to him on Instagram.
Oh, really?
So he understands English. I knew from that moment, right? So I knew when I meet him, I can speak to him in English and he will understand because he needs to for football pundits. So he understood and he didn't respond. He just kind of laughed, says like little one word things. And then he wrote in Spanish. So it's quite funny that he doesn't like to do it, but he understands. But recently it came out, one of the Inter Miami teammates, they said he on the pitch, he speaks little words in English. He always covers his mouth. If he speaks Spanish, he doesn't cover his mouth. So it's quite funny how little footballers have these little traits, right?
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
Tell me about some other people you met and who you admire.
Yeah, I've met Federico Chiesa at Juventus. Really funny story. Juventus were playing Lazio late on in the season. I think the league was done. AC Milan won it that year. And it was after the Euros. Now the Euros was the first big tournament after lockdown, very important for England. We thought we'd win it. We thought it's coming home, right? All the matches at Wembley. And Italy just went on a run. They started poorly. and then they just created momentum. Immobile, Federico Chiesa made his big statement in football. That tournament made him. And I remember he scored a worldie against Spain. I made a video and I recorded it. And Italy beat us in the final on penalties. Do you remember this game?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I was in the stadium.
I was watching it in Italy, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You were in the right place.
Yeah.
I was in London. I was in Wembley. And it wasn't so nice at full time.
Yeah, I understand.
Now, first thing about that match, the hype has never been crazier for their country.
Yeah.
We are very patriotic, similar to Serbia. When your country is doing good at a sport that you love, everybody comes together. From the grandmas to the 5-year-old kids to the people everywhere. No matter where you are, you're outdoors, you're watching your team TV screen or near the stadium. The day of the final, Wembley Stadium was completely packed. There was too many people breaking into the ground. There was not enough seats. I think maybe 100,000 fans were in Wembley, and there's 80,000 seats. Everybody wanted to be there. And then Italy beat us. And everybody is super angry, lots of fights, lots of problems. This was just after lockdown as well, so you can imagine it was, we call it the Wembley variant. A day after the final, to make matters worse, I catch COVID. It was breaking out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason this relates to Chiesa, the start of next season, I was at the match Juventus-Lazio. Juventus doing very well. Vlahovic, Dybala was at Juve at the time. They smashed it. And after the game, who comes into our box? Federico Chiesa. With TV cameras and stuff, they're doing some documentary. Sorry, this wasn't after the game. This was during the match. He was injured at the time. And he sees my friends and he points at me and he goes, "Oh, you made the video reaction to me when I scored in the Euros." And I was like, wow. My friend comes to me and he says, you know, he just mentioned you. He's seen the videos. I'm like, what? I'm like, no way is Chiesa knows who I am. Come on. And I was surprised he was even in the box. So we go and greet and we say hello. And then he comes up to me and says, wow, yeah, no, I really enjoyed your videos at the Euros. I watched all your vlogs because Italy did well. And I wanted to see the reaction of the fans. It was so surreal. We were in the box after the match. We were with his family and friends. And it was just us left in the stadium. Allianz ground in Turin, beautiful. And he's doing so well now. He's back on the pitch. So I've definitely made a great friend in Federico Chiesa and his brother Lorenzo as well. And I know a few of the friends around him. So whenever I go to Juventus, I just have to message him. And yeah, it's just, it's a beautiful connection that I've made through my YouTube channel. And it's another one of those days. I think it was the first time I met like an elite footballer.
Yeah.
And he's so down to earth. People never understand that footballers are just like us, and in their spare time, they have to focus on the game, but they have a lot of spare time, and they do things like anybody else. We put them sometimes on such a pedestal, like a god, but really they you can have a conversation, you can go for a coffee, you can do normal things and just be like them, and that's what they like because they miss that part of life. So I kind of opened that up with Federico, and he's really nice with my friends too. So that's probably one of the best days for me and my mates. You know, we went to Italy and we met one of Italy's best after they beat us in the Euros. So it was a funny situation.
Yeah, I understand. Tell me, this year, derby today, England, Serbia, will you be at that game at Euro?
I'm so excited. I'm pleased you brought it up. And this Euros, the next Euros is the one that everybody's going to want to get tickets for. Because World Cup's in Qatar, difficult to get to. The World Cup in Russia, some people scared, you know. Now the Euros, last one was in lockdown, this one's in Germany, and everybody can get there, you know? So for Serbians, many people live in Germany or across Europe, you can just drive there. I feel like the hype for this tournament is going to be insane. I have all my tickets with the England fans for all the matches. I don't think I'll do a challenge like I did at the World Cup, going to all the stadiums.
Oh, yeah, because it's difficult.
Yeah, Germany it's good to get around.
Yeah.
But it's not quite Qatar where you could just go like dum dum dum. It's all in one city. But I will definitely go to as many games as I can. I think the level of football is going to be unbelievable. And I think hopefully Serbia get their act together. At the World Cup, I wasn't impressed. I think they should have done a lot better. Seems like there was some problems in the camp. It's hard to describe what went wrong for Serbia and for England as well, to be honest. We looked amazing until that France game. We got beat by a better team, simple as. So I feel like right now, England is in a golden generation. Phil Foden now at the top of his game. Harry Kane at Bayern Munich. Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid. We have players that are making names in other countries. And I think they move away from England because they're scared about the press. They don't like the constant media attention. If you want to be a great, you have to do it in another league where they look up to you and they only say positive things, because it messes with the mindset. Even for me, when I make videos, I like to do them in other countries because it's always positive. They like to respect that this Englishman has come to them. And you understand what I mean?
Completely.
English press is so strong, and I don't know if it's similar in Serbia with Serbians maybe, but in some countries, it needs to change. If you want to win, it needs to change. So when Euros comes around, England always fall to their own media because they bring up bad stories in the middle of a tournament, and the players are like, they lose their minds. They can't focus. The dressing room is ruined. It happens every time. And it's really disappointing because I know that England should win World Cups and Euros currently, but we always fail at some point. And maybe this was the problem for Serbia too at the World Cup. I don't know what happened, but what do you think?
Well, I have my opinion, but let's say that I cheer for Serbia.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You think maybe Serbia can do something in the Euros?
Listen, I think it's time, to do something, because they are together for many, many years. They have the same coach for past 3 or 4 years,
I saw when you qualified, there was a good togetherness with Tadic, Mitrovic.
I really hope so. We go to the tournaments with big expectations,
Of course. I know Serbian fans believe.
Yeah. So disappointment almost every time,
Feels like England. Same with England.
But Theo, listen, England played finals of the Euro, England played versus France, and I think that England were better. You remember the chances.
Harry Kane missing the penalty. And also we had some decisions that didn't go our way.
Yeah, but I think England is now at the top, especially with Jude Bellingham. This guy is crazy. And I really like Declan Rice. I really like him.
Yeah.
Foden. I spoke with some friends, I think, and that Foden is maybe at the moment the best player in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Pep Guardiola now, I think he established his new level in the last few games to score goals like he did in the Manchester derby and to become a regular. Pep likes to change the team a lot, but now it feels like Foden, Haaland, De Bruyne, those three you rely on for goals in big moments now. He's got to that level. And I know you've done a lot of work with the Premier League commentary.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty special to react to goals like that, as we saw. At the moment, he's just unbelievable. And actually, Phil, he watches my videos.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean,
it's crazy.
You're bringing that to me all the time, man. I'm joking.
It's insane. It's insane.
I'm joking.
I find it as surreal as anybody else hearing this.
I mean, listen, this is really respectful, because you started from nothing, man. You started
literally nothing.
A teenager. So I don't understand why people don't respect that. You didn't steal. You have your opinion. Of course, nobody.
What do you think about the negative situation?
I think that people are sometimes, there is one expression, maybe it's even better in English. Big men making and causing problems for themselves, but small men doing it for the others. You understand? So, for example, big man is always saying to themselves, "Oh, I could have done this better. I should be a better person." But small people always are causing problems for the others.
Yeah.
So I think that we are not respectful enough,
I think,
This is the problem.
I've always had my mentality, like my content, anyone in the world can watch it for free. I've never...
They have a choice.
Yeah, you don't have to
If you don't like it, man, you can pick another. There are millions of channels,
so many. And I've always been like, I've never like charged anything to my audience. Never like people... Many YouTubers have scandals with scamming, and I never once.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Or many YouTubers have problems with crypto.
Really?
I turned down so much money. People say, just promote our coin.
Yeah.
We'll give you thousands, hundreds of thousands. So I say no every time.
You got offers for big money.
Yeah, big money.
And you refuse.
They say betting is a big one. I never promote betting because it's not what I believe in, and I don't really care about the money. I do it for experiences, not for the money. I don't have, some people in life, they have, they get motivation from earning. I get motivation from meeting Messi, from going to the stadiums, from traveling. So maybe in the future, I'll look back and think, oh, I should have done that, but no, it's not me.
But tell me one thing.
Yeah.
You, as I said,
Yeah.
now I think that you can earn decent money from the views, right?
For sure, yeah, you can.
I mean,
yeah.
you can live from that, pay your
Yeah.
bills and travel expenses and everything. You know?
Look, I don't run it like a business. I run it like just for fun. Just for fun. If I can earn enough to keep going and grow the channel, pay for my editor, my graphic designer to work on the videos, this is all I need. This is all I need. For me, that's most important. And I'm not trying to turn it in. I'm not trying to make turnover, revenue, profits, investors. I have nothing. I own 100% of my channel. I don't want anybody else to touch it. It's just my thing. And I think legacy is important, reputation as well. And as you say, when people try to say negative stuff, there's no real leg to stand on. We say in English, you understand? There's no real leg to stand on. There's a lot of people who come and go from this game. I'm 22. I've been in it for 8 years. I want to do it my whole life. I want to be like you a commentary. I'd love to do what you do when I'm older as well. I'm in it for the long run. And if people can have their opinions on me and stuff, but unless you meet me, it's hard for you to just, I don't understand why you'd go online and just give hate.
You know what is the thing? I don't mind people are saying, listen, you did that in a wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with that, but diminish something which some people did or made or say some really rude words, you know, or disrespectful in a such a cheap manner. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
I've seen it all. I'll tell you that. Even when I did the challenge for the World Cup, when I did all the stadiums, people they say like, oh, he was taking tickets from other fans and stuff. You know, it should go to the fans of the nations watching. But in Qatar, nobody traveled. Like no one, it didn't fill the stadium, did they?
Yeah.
You know, when France played, they had a small section, and the rest was given out to people working and living in Qatar.
That's true.
So I had tickets as well from a sponsor. These sponsored seats would either go to me or people working at the company. It was never available for the fans. So people create stories that have no. If every time I could respond and give them a voice, or I just don't, I cut it out and I never respond to the hate. I don't mind coming on a podcast and talking about it, but I would never say it in person because they just try to stir, you know, online. So there's no point in interacting or even mentioning it because my core audience understand what I do and my decision making. And if they don't like it, then they're just jealous. They're just hating. Simple as.
Yeah. What are your plans?
My plans? It's difficult now with YouTubers, with what I do. Tomorrow, I could come up with an idea that I spend 3 months on, right? Or I get this opportunity online that I can do like a show or something like that. I'd love to do more on Sky Sports, more online English media channels, and more official stuff. But I want to keep growing the YouTube channel. I want to continue to be the best football YouTube channel out there. I want to produce content and show experiences all around the world. There's a lot of matches I haven't done yet, so I want to keep doing that. I want to spend more time with my editors to figure out the best ways to make the videos professional and enjoyable for everybody around the world. There's a lot I have motivation and passion for, so there's so much more to come. You think I'd be in the game since the start, but now I feel like I could be in the game twice as long, 3 times as long. I'm only looking forward. I'm not looking back. Of course, it's nice to talk about these experiences, but I want to turn it even bigger. I have big dreams. And I hope the next time maybe you get me on this podcast, we can say, oh, Theo, you accomplished what you wanted to do. So yeah, just all I'd say is for people that want to know what I'm doing next, just look out on my channel and you will see. You know, wherever I do, I'll take you guys with me. I'm just a kid who loves football, and everything that comes, it happens to you guys as well. You guys have seen me when I was small with 0 subscribers, 100 subscribers, with my family and friends from my school being my first audience, to now with nearly 2 million subscribers. Yeah, it's incredible. But it's not like I'm not ready to go. Like I'm very motivated to keep going. I can't tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's going to be interesting. I also want to just inspire people that there's other ways of making a name rather than just education. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to focus on one route. You don't always have to listen to your parents as well. You have to remember that. Nowadays on social media, there's lots of ways to create a name for yourself. And it just takes the confidence to turn on the camera and speak your mind and just do it and don't give up. Never give up. So I want to ensure that mentality on people all around the world. I hope local kids in Serbia try start a YouTube channel. I hope kids in Qatar go out and do something that they believe in, they have a passion for. Because nowadays you don't see enough of it. There aren't many like me, but I want to inspire the youth. So that's something I will value in the next few years of my content. Yeah.
Respect for that, man.
Yeah.
Respect for that. I hope that you will do that. This is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
This is the most important thing.
Yeah, and it's nice that you've given me an opportunity to talk about.
Oh, come on. Thanks
about
for
my
your time.
life. And sometimes you get stuck up in everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But it's nice to sit down and really think about the things that I've done and what I'd like to do in the future. So no, it's nice to be here in Belgrade with you, Alexander.
Thanks, dear, for coming. I know that you have a lot of things to do today.
It's gonna be a very busy day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully a good result. And people
for
always
whom? For
oh,
whom?
Yeah. People always say that like I want Red Star to win because Red Star is the club that invited me, and I will pay the love and respect back to them. I don't hate Partizan. I really do respect the club, and I want to go to a Partizan basketball match and see their audience because as you say, I like to be respectful to both teams, but of course I want Red Star to win. That's you understand. What about you? That's the question. What about you?
Of course. You asked me that before we started, and I told you that. Listen, people when you say who are you for, people will put you in a draw, you know? And this is the draw where I put those kinds of people. I don't want to be put in a draw, and I try to do and to avoid controversy all my life, even that I fail in that, to be honest.
Yeah.
You understand me?
I understand. Trust me, I understand. We spoke about that, yeah.
So
it's difficult to go down the middle because I created a big audience in Morocco.
Yeah.
And there's two big clubs, Wydad and Raja Casablanca.
Yeah.
And I never say which one I prefer. I honestly, I don't prefer one.
Yeah.
I respect both. But every time I meet a Moroccan, it's like Wydad or Raja.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same in Belgrade, Red Star or Partizan.
I really hope that Serbian football will grow and Serbian sport, and but it's not about me. It's about you today, and really thank you. Thank Callum for being here.
Big up Callum as well.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's here, and your friends are here. Also went for a coffee, and thanks for your time. Whenever you have something, whatever help you need, you can count on me and my small crew. So
I love the studio, by the way, as well. This studio deserves a lot of respect.
Thanks.
Some lovely signed shirts.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can have a collection as big as yours in the future.
Man, I
have some big names.
You started really good.
I started good, really for 22.
You're really good. So hope to see you in Germany for the game, England-Serbia.
I will see you there.
Yeah.
Let's hope that both of us can turn around the negative media and put the mind onto the quality that we have on the pitch.
Definitely. Thanks for your time. Hope to see you in the future. You are welcome anytime, and let's do something in the future.
Let's do it. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure. Enjoy the derby later.
Yeah, thank you too. Enjoy the stay in Belgrade, in Serbia.
Oh, it's great here every time. Don't worry,
We love you, man, and we love everyone who respects our country. We respect them twice as much,
There you go.
Sorry, I continue I continue in English. Hvala još jednom, hvala Teu, hvala Vernjanu naravno i pratite Tea. Teo, can you name your name at social media?
Yeah, it's all Thogden, Thogden.
Yeah.
Very simple. Instagram, YouTube, mainly YouTube.
Yeah.
Twitter, you can find me on all the platforms, but my main videos are on YouTube.
Yeah. He is doing a really great job. I think that I can finish in English. He's doing a really, really great job.
Thank you.
And thanks again. See you next time. This was Theo, one of the most famous football YouTubers and the guy who did well so far. And we wish him all the best. Thanks for coming to Serbia and spreading the love and knowledge, man.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah,
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Hvala vam. Ćao.